Hello, good afternoon. I'm architect Mahesh Bangad from Dr. B.N. College of Architecture, Pune, and I'm presenting this week 4 presentation for the International FDP on Environment and Sustainability, hosted by D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akodi. It is indeed a pleasure to have studied through the last 4 weeks on the topic of environmental awareness and my topic that I've taken is water and need for water conservation and to study the standards of water conservation and the ISO standards for quality of water as well. To start with, let me acknowledge D.Y. Patil College of Engineering Akodi for initiating this and conducting this wonderful FDP, which is of international standards. We had great resource persons presenting through this FDP, and I must thank Dr. Vinay Kulkarni for his efforts to provide us with the best of resources in our course of learning. And it's been a pleasure to learn from the other participants as well. And there were thousands of participants from across the world attending this, and it was a pleasure to listen to some of the great speakers that have presented during this FDP. Thank you very much, D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akodi. In my week 1 video, I had spoken about drinking water and the scarcity. This was the detail that came from the presentation that discussed sustainability as a concept, the 3 spheres of sustainability, and the policies to promote environmental sustainability. And in week 2, the presentation talked about drinking water as a resource, why there is scarcity, and the need to conserve this drinking water, and of course the various standards that ISO or BIS sets for drinking water quality. The week 4 video is what I am presenting now. The final week of the course was about understanding the standards for the environment and sustainability. The other important aspect was to study carbon footprint and the ways to reduce it. The following presentation discusses the relationship of ISO and water footprint, and the ways to reduce it. Drinking water, such an important resource. All of us need it, and all of us use it very nonchalantly without thinking, what if we never got access to drinking water? Good, safe drinking water. And thus, the International Standardization Organization set some rules for ISO and water. The following details are from the ISO website, official website, and it says, great things happen when the world agrees. Of course, everybody of us have to agree on the international standards. Why do we need ISO standards for water? Because water is one of the world's most essential commodities and the most precious of all. It is a key element of sustainable future and a vital ingredient for renewable energy sources, food production, and also improving sanitation and health of people. Around 40% of the world's population doesn't have enough water, and for those that do, pollution remains a real and serious problem. Out of the 21,300 international standards laid by ISO, we have more than 1,200 related to water, and with many more in the development. Just to tell you about the water quality, there is a very important ISO standard, ISO/PC 147, that talks about the kind of water quality that needs to be there for consumption. There are 300 standards for water quality. applicable to everything from plant treatment agents to natural mineral waters. Then there are standards for water footprint, which provides basic requirements for the measurement and reporting of a water footprint, setting an international benchmark for water use. ISO also has about 70 standards for water and sediment measurement in open channels, including movement and availability of groundwater. ISO measures the water footprint the world over. It depends upon how the consumption of water has environmental impact, and right, not just from consumption, but when a company produces a product, what level of water is being utilized as well. So what water related sectors does ISO cover? Of all those 1200 sectors or 1200 standards that I told you about, ISO covers water quality, irrigation, water footprinting, infrastructure, hydrometry, piping and valves, drinking water, measurement of fluid or flow, wastewater and water reuse. Our concern largely remains with drinking water and reuse of water. By the way, doesn't it come to our mind that who benefits from the ISO standards for water? Well, to be honest, all of us, be it industry or the regulators or the consumers like you and me. We all benefit from the ISO standards. A good, safe drinking water or good water supply services or good sanitation, all of these matter to us. Good quality of water in the fields lead to good food crop development. That too matters to us. So, ISO standards for water are very important for you and me. They say clean drinking water is a privilege to many. I think I agree. Because the amount of drinking water and wastewater systems we have, not all of them are as per standards. We don't know where the water comes from. We don't really know whether it is really purified as much. And thus it is necessary to have our water, our drinking water, properly treated. And there are three key standards for drinking water. The ISO 24510, ISO 24511 and the ISO 24512 are related to drinking water. Carbon and water footprint. Carbon footprint many of you must have heard of, but water footprint is also a part of this. What is the carbon footprint of a bottled water? Have you ever imagined? Do you really understand that how much of bottled water do we all consume in our day-to-day lives? We use a lot of bottled water, and all of this matters to you, me, and the environment by and large. What is this carbon footprint of water? It includes right from transportation of raw material to bottling of water to also, most importantly, retransportation of this water to the consumer. So there is a lot of carbon footprint involved for a bottled water. The CO2 footprint total on the higher side is 446 billion pounds. And there are several studies being done, and after USA and Europe, it is Asia that has the highest amount of global carbon footprint for bottled water. To put it into perspective in terms of numbers, the global carbon footprint of bottled water in 2017 was 37 billion tons. Summarizing that, we all need to understand that if we were to consume 480 billion plastic bottles in 2018 with an average size of 1 liter, that means that the CO2 footprint was between 67 billion to 192 billion kg of CO2 per year. And that, my dear friends, is equivalent to driving 248 to 710 billion kilometers by car, or the annual CO2 output of about 5 to 74 million cars. And these numbers, let me tell you, aren't covering it all. And that is why we need ways, and there is a need to conserve water. And to conserve just 100 liters per household per day through various measures is possible, which automatically would reduce annual CO2 emissions by 24 to 63 kgs per household. And these measures are very, very important for reducing the consumption by at least 100 liters a day. What are these measures? And how to reduce your water footprint? Speaking broadly, you can reduce your direct water footprint by turning off the tap while brushing your teeth, using water-saving toilets, installing a water-saving shower head, taking shorter showers, only washing your clothes when necessary, fixing household leaks, using less water in the garden and when cleaning, not disposing of medicines, paints or other pollutants down the sink. And what is affecting our drinking water as well? So there are indirect ways of reducing your water footprint. 1. Eating less meat. 2. Switching coffee for tea. 3. Cutting down on sugar. 4. Eating less processed food. 5. Consuming more local produce. 6. Buying quality, not quantity. And then there are so many more ways in which businesses and individuals could be regulated through government norms. It is upon all of us to reset this water footprint for each one of us. Remember that if we make a difference at our own level, it will directly affect in a larger good for the society and the environment. So, in a nutshell, through these 4 weeks, I have learned that the environmental sustainability is concerned with not just the weather or resources, but it is also concerned with us. And it is us who need to protect it and maintain it for future generations to come. We have the issues of water crisis, long-term health of ecosystems, decision making, renewable resources, prevention of man-made global warming, protection of species diversity and ecological structure. And then there is so much to do in terms of environment and social welfare, and finally the happiness of people. Remember, water is life and clean water means health. What do we do with these? We need to shift to renewable resources, protect health of our ecosystems, avoid the excess pollution, not just water but air as well. We need to make decisions that are more economic based. Finally, we need to target welfare and not GDP. As individuals, the improvement begins with I. As someone has rightly said, for water, jal hai to kal hai. And if we have water for tomorrow, then we are alive tomorrow. So it's our moral responsibility to save water, drinking water, and clean water. Thank you very much. And thank you D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Akodi, for allowing me to present here for the International FDP on Environment and Sustainability. Thank you.